It's being recorded.
Well, hell yeah, it is. Good to go. All right. Well, welcome to my class, guys. Nice to see you all here again. Anyways, I'm Chad Russell. I'm an independent contractor with Netmark, and I specialize a lot in the local SEO side of things. So the purpose of this class today is to go over some local SEO basics, what everybody should know, especially the strategists here at Netmark need to know about when setting up and managing a local SEO campaign. I'm going to send this PowerPoint out to all of you. After this, I'll email it to you because there's some links and stuff in it, so you can kind of get an idea of where I get a lot of my research done and a lot of my ideas and stuff with some industry leaders that I follow. So anyway, yeah, local SEO basics, what Netmark strategists need to know about local search. If you guys have been following like Moz.com or any other online forums, you guys have probably seen some, especially in the local side, you've probably seen some big things happening with a couple newer algorithm updates come out, especially Pigeon. Have you guys heard of Pigeon yet? Good to go. Good to go. You guys familiar with Venice? The Venice update that happened about 2.5 years ago?
No.
I'll get a little bit into that and kind of explain how that goes near the end of this. So anyway, local SEO. One of the first things that you do when you take on a client that's a local client, of course, is you got to get on that website and make sure that website's all set up and ready to go. A lot of forums that you read, you're going to see local SEO or people talking about local SEO saying, hey, you don't need a website, you need a good Google Plus page, you need all the other little directory submissions, stuff like that, and that's good to go, but a website definitely does provide a foundation to help you start ranking better for your particular keywords or categories or anything like that. Now, with the new Pigeon update and with the Hummingbird update that happened lately, a lot of those are factoring in local SEO and local results with your authority in your website and especially content you're putting in your website. So even having a basic, like a WordPress.com website, as crappy as those are, or a Blogger website, that's a great way to start, at least for beginners, to at least get something down so that they can start adding content and associating it with their online profile. So first things first, I kind of made it backwards. You kind of want to make sure that your Google Analytics, Webmaster Tools are all set up, because those are going to give you all the information you need for traffic and website health and stuff like that. But these next four here, the first four on this slide here, are the most important when it comes to local SEO. If you get these, and many of these they're easy to put together. They take 5 or 10 minutes to install and get updated for the clients. So, local schema markup. Are you guys familiar with local schema markup? Okay. Jim has given quite a few classes on what schema markup is, and it's basically just it's rich snippets text data. It helps Google. In short, it helps Google understand what exactly your business information is and the data that it needs to reference when Google goes out across the web looking for more instances of your business or your business information. So local schema markup is definitely something that you should take advantage of. If at the very least, name, address, and phone number. But you should always include in email addresses, business hours, locational data as far as if they have other locations and stuff like that, and of course marking up the logo. Marking up the logo for the website is a pretty important thing in that when you get into the knowledge graph and all that other stuff, you'll see kind of why that's important. Google Publisher. In this, we're not really going to talk about authorship, because authorship's more along the lines of content that you produce and want attributed to you, so that more and more people can find you and your material online. But when we're talking about a business, we want to talk about Google Publisher markup. And so here in a little bit, I'll kind of explain how the easiest way is to set up Google Publisher. And my preferred method is using a Google Plus page badge. And there's a reason for that here in a little bit. It just looks real good. But anyway, I'll get into that more. You all have heard of NAP consistency. Do any of you know what that is, besides looking at the screen? Name, address, phone number. Those are the three most important pieces of data that Google uses to establish your online rankings for local search and Google Maps. I can't stress that enough. NAP consistency's got to be the #1 thing you take care of some clients. Some clients might have, for instance, doctors or realty agents. A lot of times they're working under either a practice that's a business that has its own business name, or they might be working under an agency like Remax or something like that, where the parent company has control of all the information on that page. However, sometimes these websites or businesses allow their realtors or their doctors to create their own profiles and stuff. So you got to be really aware. Doctors or any of those clients that might have a business page on Google Maps that has their business name in it, and it's got the same data as maybe like a parent company or a parent business name. So those are definitely something that you need to be aware of. I'm not going to cover those too in depth in this. It's just the basics. But there's a lot of information out there available for you to reference to figure out what should be done in those cases. And of course, I'm available too. You all know my extension. You always can call me up and ask me any questions about what I do in those situations. And then, of course, multiple location landing pages. My personal business, Half Cocked Academy, I've got one location. So basically, my entire website is optimized for my one business location. But there's going to be times when you got clients where they got a parent company, but they have multiple physical locations all over the United States or even in the same state. Multiple location landing pages on your website are going to be highly beneficial in that Google will, when Google comes and indexes your website and sees these different pages with its own schema markup on them, its own Google Plus badge and publisher information, it's going to help Google rank those pages better in Google Maps when someone's in a particular location rather than just a home page of the website. And so when you break out multiple location pages, I just have locations up in a menu bar, drop down the different locations that are at. Each page has its own unique content and markup information. It's going to make it easier for Google to serve that information up. And of course, when you're writing content and blogs, whatever, you're writing blog content about maybe a particular service that's at a particular location, I always make sure to link that blog post, and it's contextual linking. Link that blog post or piece of content to the specific landing page. So that's going to help Google establish the relevance between the content that's somewhere else as to that location page. And of course, analytics, webmaster tools are very important as well. Make sure that those are all set up.
If you had one location service like multiple areas, like multiple counties or neighborhoods, would you do?
In an instance like that where they serve many locations, it's that you can have multiple landing pages. When it does something like that, I'll do something more regional. The Hummingbird update and the Pigeon update that started getting Google into recognizing neighborhoods. And like if you get on Google Maps, if there's a place here in town right behind Winco Foods. It's kind of a lower income area. Idaho Falls knows it as Bel Air. It's kind of a funny name for it. However, Google doesn't know that kind of stuff yet. Google's getting better and better at finding those things in those references. So when it comes to that question right there, if you have like a whole service area, it'd probably be good to have a good page with the service area. Maybe break it out of 4 different counties with a bunch of cities. Make a county page that has a list of the cities in those counties. You don't really need to get too much deeper than that, unless of course you want to rank, a particular page for a particular city stuff, and then you just get back down to your location page. But yeah, good question on that. I would just I'd make probably like an areas we serve landing page. Maybe a couple more if it's like 4 counties, break those out to their own, with a little bit of information on those. So, any questions about any of that? No? All right. Google Plus local page. As soon as you got your website established and everything's good to go, this is the very first place that I go. When someone does a Google search, local business, that's the Google Plus page, and the Google Maps listing first shows up that people see. So obviously this should be the very first place you go to after you get the website established. There it is again, NAT consistency. A big thing that's kind of hard to find information on is the difference between and an ampersand in a business name. A lot of people have varying ideas of what should be done, how consistent those should be. When it comes to that, I haven't been able to find a real concrete answer, especially for Google. So keep it consistent. If you're using an ampersand on the website, if there's an ampersand in your business logo and it's part of D&J coins, then you'll definitely want to make sure that you want to keep that ampersand around. It's just going to make it easier for Google to understand what's going on. But there's no real clear definition on that, so just keep it consistent. Same thing if you're spelling out street versus ST or avenue versus AVE. Try to keep those as consistent as possible as well, because any time that we can make it easier for Google to do its job, you're going to benefit better. So just keep it as consistent. A lot of times people say, well, where do we start? Which one do you pick from? If the client already has a website and they already have their business information in a footer or the contact page, keep it to what that is, because there's a good chance they're already established with that. And so when you start building local local directories and local pages, keep with what's already on the website if it's already been established. If you're starting from new, then the world's your oyster on that. Okay, business description in the Google Plus page. This is the second biggest piece of information right above category. Business descriptions can be short or long. I haven't seen any big penalty from Google or anything like that if you have like a whole page long worth of content. However, when the Google Plus pages and knowledge graphs start showing up and have a little bit of information, a lot of that gets cut off. So kind of like title tags and meta descriptions. The longer it is, it's nice, but there's a lot of times people might just skip over it. So my rule of thumb is maybe about 3 paragraphs worth of information. Maybe an introduction to the business, the second paragraph talking about services and products, and third paragraph maybe talking about just briefly touching on the history of the business. No keyword stuffing. I've had plenty of clients that we've done that in the past for that we've got penalized, get a Google Plus page suspended, and it's very much so for putting things like multiple keywords in the business description. You guys already know what that is. Contact information does not go into the business description. Phone numbers, email addresses, other addresses, Google will suspend your page pretty quick if they detect that information, because there's already the other fields and the other places that's for that. So a good business description, yeah, keep it relatively short, nothing too long. Make sure you just don't stuff keywords into it. 1 or 2 keywords might be fine, but leave it at that. Business categories. Only relevant categories. If you happen to be a pest control, you're pest control. You might be bug control, insect, rodent control, whatever shows up, you're relevant for. One of the clients that I work on, one of my own, Star Pest Control, they had agricultural services as one of their business categories. And while they do commercial pest control on some agricultural and farm businesses here in town, most of their clientele and most of their business comes from residents and homes in town here. And so Google at the time had made their #1 category the agricultural services. And we found that they just weren't showing up very well for pest control. So I went into his Google Plus pages, removed that category for agricultural services, and Google moved up the pest control services, and they started showing up better for when somebody did a keyword search for pest control Idaho Falls. And so I was able to show him that right away. Say, hey, as agricultural services, you type in pest control, you're at the bottom of the maps pack. You change them, make sure that pest control is your main category, and you type it in. He was ranking a bit higher because those categories do make a huge difference. They're one of the things that Google uses to establish how keywords that people use, how relevant they are going to be. So don't put as many categories as you possibly can, thinking, oh, this might relate to this one, and this one might relate to another thing we do. Just keep it as relevant as possible. For instance, my business, Half Cocked Academy, it only allows one category that has anything to do with my business. It's Firearms Academy. They don't have, like, I could put gun range in there, but I don't have a gun range. And when I first started my business and put gun ranges as categories, I had a lot of people calling me up wondering if my gun range was open. I was like, I don't have one in my backyard in town, so sorry, guys. So that it does make a difference, and it does change the way that people find your business online. So only use relevant categories. Business images. This is huge. Not a lot of people put these together. I got a client right now who Yodel is running their main Google Plus page. And when I visited, they didn't have a logo in there, they didn't have a cover image, and they didn't add any images to the Google Plus page database. Those images show up when people find you on Google Maps, and they also show up in the knowledge graph, which we'll get into here in a little bit. So they can help. Images are great for helping push your business. You got really good products, good, clean, clear shots of the products, services. Take pictures of you performing your services or anything like that. Put them up there. And of course, a business logo is huge. Always have that in there, and add that, because when Google goes through your website and sees your logo and your website marked up with schema markup, if Google decides that one of your images does not seem to fit or just does not seem to portray your business correctly, then Google, if you have the markup established, Google will substitute your logo in there for that. So make sure that the logo is available in the Google Plus page as well. Business operation hours, of course, just put in whatever you need to. Some businesses don't, some are open 24 hours. If the business is open 24 hours, make sure you fill this out. You got to have something in here because if you don't leave any business hours in there, it's not going to show up, and it's going to be hard for people to figure out exactly when you do business or anything. A lot of times they'll just go click through to the next business down, because no one's going to call you if they don't think you're open.
Isn't there a setting you can say open all day?
No, not in Google Plus yet. The Google My Business dashboard doesn't allow that yet. So what you do, if you're open all day or it's 24 hours, like if you're doing an online, sell online and things like that, or if you take reservations or appointments online, just open it up, mark every day as open, and then do 12 a.m. to 12 a.m. And then Google will display it as open 24 hours. Cool. Service areas. That's pretty important right there. Kind of gets into what Jim was talking about earlier. Google Plus will allow you to say, hey, I service people here at my business location, and I hold classes in my basement, my house, but I also go out to other people too. I'll go all the way up to Rexburg and down to Pocatello to do classes. So one of the biggest upgrades that Google My Business put in, oh, by the way, Google My Business is the replacement for Google Places. So it's a whole new dashboard with a whole bunch of really cool information and insights it'll give you. But anyway, one of the newest additions is that it used to be, when Google Places around, if you have a business location but you serve other people, you can only pick one or the other. You can pick, I serve people here, or I serve people out in a service area. Now you can put both. You can indicate to Google and everybody else who looks at you that yeah, we serve people here at our location, and we do have a business area, which I've set up on my personal page. So always fill that stuff in, because it can help attract people from outside their area to find your listing. Because if you're serving people in those areas, your Google Plus Maps listing is going to start showing for those areas when people are looking for them. You won't get as highly ranked because you're not physically in that location, but you're definitely in the competition to show up in those areas. And then, of course, last but not least, a custom URL. This isn't highly important, but it definitely helps out with branding. It can help people remember who you are if they're an avid Google Plus user, if they're people looking for you online. So a custom URL, when they're available, go ahead and claim that when you can. There's many times, if you're a unique business, you'll be able to get a custom URL that portrays your business exactly as it is. But sometimes, like Ron's Dental Practice, there's probably a ton of them in the United States. And if a Google Plus page or a business, before you happen to claim that, you're going to say, hey, put on a couple more characters at the end of the suffix here. Not a big deal. When it's available, get it, because it can definitely help people find you a little bit better when brand recognition happens. So, you guys have any questions about a Google Plus page? Okay. Publisher markup, Google Plus badge. When you establish publisher markup, there's a couple different ways you can do it. My favorite way is the Google Plus badge right there, because if you get a clean looking, it's like a miniaturized version of your Google Plus page. If it fits in with the graphics of your website and you keep the images somewhat the same, it can really help blend into the page, and they look real sharp. And they give a visitor a place to follow you if they're using Google Plus. They can plus one your material. And of course, they can click right on there and see your business listing. I usually put these in either a sidebar, something that wherever page of the internet they're, or the website they're on, it'll show up in whatever page. It helps us to any page that shows up on gets established with publisher markup. So what publisher markup basically is a way for Google to establish an owner of a business, the relevance and their relationship with their Google Plus page. So that when you start sharing things in your business, or start sharing things in Google Plus, and start linking content from one place to another, Google will start showing content you're showing on your website, particularly blog too. It'll start showing up in some of your Google Plus results. And so it's just another signal that Google uses to firmly establish that yeah, this is the business, this is the verified page, and this is the athlete page you're using. Once you install this badge into a website, the publisher's set up. So that's good to go. The other ways you can set up publisher is through either like meta code. You put a little meta link up in the header of the header code of the website, or you can actually make a link on the page with the REL publisher markup. Now, putting links up in the head code of the website, Google's starting to kind of frown upon that, and especially if it's done in a way that Google may think looks spammy, that you're trying to put links up in places. They can actually penalize you for that kind of stuff. So just to keep things easy, and because things look nice like this, this is the preferred way to do it. Some clients might not like it, then you've got to go with one of the other ways. Now, the last way to do this, and kind of difficult, especially if a client hasn't given you full management permission to Webmaster Tools, you can go ahead and link your pages to Webmaster Tools. But if you're not the owner of the account, you're just a full user or a restricted user, you won't be able to access that and make that connection. It's the owner of the Webmaster Tools. So that's usually the last way to do it. It's a little bit more time consuming. This way right here with the badge is the fastest way I've seen to do it. So you got back-end access to the website. It's just a little bit of a short code that you put in, boom, there's your badge and your established publisher. You guys get any questions about that? All right, this is the knowledge graph. A lot of you have seen this. This is what Google Publisher does. It's one of the biggest things that it does. If somebody goes to do like a branded search for you, or even a keyword search, once everything's up and your page has been established, you're going to see a little kick out right there on the side there. You'll see Half Cocked Academy. You'll see a picture of Christy shooting a rifle and some business information right there. Notice you get reviews right there that show up right on the side of the page. You get the recent posts if you're a regular poster in Google+, that kind of stuff starts showing up. So it's kind of like a business page, a Google+ page. You don't have to go to your page to see all the relevant information right there. It's got your hours, your business phone number, and stuff like that. When you have publisher code marked up, or I'm sorry, publisher code installed correctly, and this starts coming out, then you can start tracking in Google, in Google My Business, in their dashboard. They have a lot of insights, so you can see people who interact with that stuff right there. Notice the business logo is not up there. My Half Cocked Academy logo is not up in there. It has a picture of Christy. I've got my logo marked up on my website, and I've got my logo in the Google Plus page. However, Google does say in their terms and conditions, whatever they show there, they're going to think is the most relevant for web and businesses. I don't mind so much myself that the logo's not there because it's still on the page there. Some people might get peeved about it. It might probably take a little bit of coding work or just making sure that all your schema markups are all correct. But other than that, I like what it does. It clearly shows what my business is about. So also, when you get everything set up correctly, you start seeing that right up underneath the on the left there, up underneath the top listing. You see all that stuff show up underneath there. You see the Google reviews. You can write a review, Google Plus page. Nate Marks rated that 5 stars. Thank you very much, Nate Marks. And then, of course, your business information underneath that. So that's all publisher markup stuff, and that just helps out with click-through rate. And Google's done a few studies, and people have done independent studies to show that, yeah, it does help out. So it's a really cool thing to help show your clients that you guys know what you're doing around here. People like more information showing. So that's the knowledge graph right there. Knowledge graph isn't specific to Google Plus pages or anything like that. Anytime that you've got, or business pages, I should say, if you've got brand pages, if you've got services pages, stuff like that, and you've got it all correctly set up with Publisher, then that knowledge graph can change. So, and a lot of these updates that have been happening lately are starting to show different kinds of knowledge graphs that show up. You can put in up in the search bar, you can put in something like a mathematical equation. You show a knowledge graph show up of how they, what the answers are to those kind of things. Other references of places where you can get answers. So it's pretty cool information that shows up, and it can make some clients happy when they see that start showing up.
So real quick, Chad. So
yeah.
with your one client that had the most appropriate picture showing up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How did you change that from showing up in an graph?
He did not. It was a Google. Or basically, the question was, I had a client. He's a plastic surgeon who their knowledge graph is showing some before and after pictures of some breast augmentation surgery, and that may not have been appropriate for most audiences. What turned out was this page that he had, it was claimed that he had done no work to it. It was something like another company had claimed it and set it up. They didn't put anything into it. It was easily cleared up by going and adding new images into the profile itself. So going in there to the Google My Business page, we put some good-looking pictures in there of what should show up. That took care of that within a day. So if you don't have any images in there, Google's going to go to your website, whatever website's linked to that. It's going to go to your website and start just pulling images out of there. So sometimes you can come up with, hey, there might be images showing up in some of the branded search that people don't really need to see unless, of course, they go to the website. So That's why it's important to put images in there, especially they've got good, nice images, clear images of what's going on, and it'll keep you from having that sort of thing happen, have people freaking out.
So could you make Google show you your logo by going into your My Business page, taking out that picture of Christy and all of those, and just keep
Yeah, if I removed all the pictures out of the Google My Local page, it'd probably show my local, my logo. However, there could be a chance that Google goes to my website and says, yeah, we like the logo, but maybe we think that this picture of Chad picking his nose looks better. And they'll put it up there. Yeah, and it does. It does look good when I pick my nose. So anyway, yeah, that is a way to do it, but the whole idea is don't try to manipulate Google into doing what you want to do in that. Do the right things on your website, do the right things on your page, and let Google decide what's going on and happen. So I don't mind if that's there. I mean, it pretty much clearly shows we do a lot of shooting and stuff like that. But yeah, it's very relevant, so that wouldn't bother me. But if they had something like if I was running AdWords or something, or AdSense, and they pulled an ad up into that would irritate me. I wouldn't want that to happen. But yeah, I think it works just fine. Any questions about the knowledge graph? Cool. All right. Posting often to Google+. This is it's kind of hard to see this. One of my clients is Star Pest Control, and I've been doing a lot of video work and a lot of blogging for his website. And every time I do a blog, I post it out on Google+ and all that kind of stuff. And this happened to show up. I did a private search on Opera, and I just did a worm soil analysis. I did a whole a blog series on soil analysis and stuff like that. I had a couple of videos set up for it, and I pushed a lot of those posts out. Now, Star Pest Control is not really popular on Google+. It's a pest control company. There's not a heck of a lot to. There's not a huge audience for pest control. However, this particular post right here is a Google+ post that I put up into his Google+ page. And so I did worm soil analysis, did a private search, wasn't signed into Google+, and of course right here and here are his two landing pages. One of them's a landing page of the home page, and one of them's a landing page of the blog post that I wrote. Down here at the very bottom is a Google+ post that it was ranking for that term right there. So what that shows is your Google+ post. Google takes those seriously. Google treats them sort of like a quote-unquote mini blog. Google+ posts can be formatted. They can take advantage of many of the things that you would normally do in a blog post, and Google indexes them that way. So it's very, very possible that if you're active in your Google+, and you've got really relevant information and good internal linking, your Google+ posts will start showing in ranking. Normally, you'd have to be signed into Google+, and then you'll see Google+ posts of your friends or people that you follow show up on there. But right there is proof that yeah, those Google+ posts, if done right and shared right and have good content attached to them, they'll start to rank.
So would this be a good alternative to a client that has no desire to set up a blog on their website?
No, I would not. No, the blog on the website, and we'll get into that, especially because of the pigeon algorithm. We'll kind of get into that here in a second near the end of this. It works in that you can kind of use it as a blog and it helps out, but having that really authoritative content on the website itself that you can share out, that the people interact with, and it's just well written. That's the kind of stuff that's going to push this. That particular post right there, if you were to click into that, you'd say the Google+ post and everything, and then you have a link right to the blog post that I wrote itself. And so that's one of those things that Google's saying, hey, this is relevant with this is relevant with this. Somebody needs to look for soil analysis in Orem, Utah. Here's a post that can drive traffic to the website. So if they didn't have a blog, then absolutely use Google+ as much as possible. I do it anyway. Even if you've got a blog, use Google+ as much as possible, because that reason right there, that's a search result from a Google+ post right there. Okay, I'm not even signed into Google with. I'm doing a private search or an incognito search or whatever, and it shows up in the search. So it's.
I'd say for like a knowledge graph, if you have a local business, and you have a local business page, and let's say the publisher is pretty much going to show anyone in the internet search. If you're trying to do publisher with a brand page or a service page, something other than the local business page for your solutions or for your corporations, you have to be active on the page to
Yeah, you
have.
got
If your page is just sitting there dormant, you haven't had any posts on it for 20 months. You're not going to be doing it. You'll get a great place to place space there and do that. that stuff.
Yeah.
You're not going to put the same blog both on the website's blog and the Google Plus.
Well, you don't want to make duplicate content.
Right.
So you don't want to take your blog and then copy it word for word and make a post out of it. And you got duplicate
I'm going to write a paragraph describing your blog post.
Exactly. Exactly. So what I do when I do a blog post and I promote it in Google Plus, I just simply make a nice little headline. And that's more of an advanced thing too when you start formatting Google Plus posts. There's a way to format them that the post and that have a title tag in the post. It'll have a meta description. You can have heading tags in it as well. But what I typically do is I write a blog post, and if I'm going to put it on Google Plus, I'll probably write about a paragraph, kind of summarizing what it is, but not giving away the whole story. Kind of like, hey, do you need a soil analysis at your place? What's your grass look like? We've got pests everywhere. Well, maybe one of our soil analysis can help you out with this kind of stuff. Check this blog post for that. Use hashtags, use some formatting things, and it really can help drive more traffic because it looks more professional that way. I've seen people use Google Plus as a blog platform before, and some of it works for it, but like Jim says, you got to be doing it all the time. You have to be active with it, or else Google's not going to show results because it's things that were written 3 months ago probably don't have as much relevance as now, especially pest control. Pest control happens all summer, but in December, we better be writing about something else. Something about getting your home ready for the next pest season, getting your home ready for when the bugs and the insects start coming back out. So just stay active with it. Stay as active as possible. Okay, you guys got any questions about that? All right, local citations. This is when you get your Google Plus page built up and everything's all good to go, and you've got all your schema data up on your website, and everything looks good. Now it's time to start getting more of your information out in the web. Now, a local citation is not a directory submission. Local search is highly dependent on local citations. Citations are a mention of the business name and contact info somewhere on the internet. That simply means if somebody is writing a review somewhere about a business or about an experience they had, and they said, "Oh, Star Pest Control was a really good business to work with. I really recommend it. Here's a phone number." There's no links in that, but Google does. Google can go through and index that stuff and say, "Oh, they were mentioned here. Here's a phone number that we see. There's the name of the business and there's a phone number. Does this match any of the other stuff that we have in our index?" And of course, if it does, then Google will say, "Hey, people are mentioning you and talking about you online places." That helps your overall rankings, even though it's not a link coming back. Partial citations or mentions of one piece of business info. Partial citations are very good too. It'd be great if everybody who mentioned your client or your business or your brand would always say, Half-Cocked Academy at 8811466, Chadwell. So it'd be great if they always did that, but that doesn't happen very often. So partial citations are good to go as well. They're not as authoritative as a full citation, but they're still good to get. Citations can be links or not. Basically saying if somebody puts your business name, they're writing about maybe a class that I gave them, and Half-Cocked Academy, make a link from the Half-Cocked anchor text to my website. That's a dual link citation, partial citation. Links are not citations. So a simple link like a anchor text link that says, "Hey, shooting instruction in Idaho Falls," and they link to me, that's not a citation. Citations can be links. Links can't be citations, unless, of course, they're written with your business information. Link building for local SEOs is much, much different than it is for a national SEO campaign. National SEO campaigns are all about bigger, higher authoritative websites linking to you. Something like a Walmart.com linking to maybe Amazon.com linking to your little home business because you sell products on Amazon. Those are good links to get, especially if they're coming from authoritative and influential people out on the internet. What was I at on that? Yeah, so link building for nationals is huge. That's one of the biggest drivers of rankings and stuff for your website. Now, when it's a local business, not everybody in the United States knows about me. Hardly anybody outside Idaho Falls would know what my business is. So my business and not a whole lot of people are going to be linking to me unless, of course, I'm going out and doing link harvesting and become a more influential person in my industry. Until then, I'm going to be relying on people spreading my business information or mentioning me wherever I can. If I can do a really good job with somebody and they decide to write a quick little blog post or something on their Facebook or whatever and mention me, those are the kind of things that Google's going to see making me relevant in my geographic area. Citations validate Google's data. Avoid evil scrape data listings. This gets back into NAP consistency. If you've got a Bing Places for Business page and a Google Plus page that have two different business names, two different phone numbers. Let's say you update or got a new phone number, and you forgot to go out and update any your older business listings you created. Google can find that. Google will get confused, saying, "Well, I see this phone number mentioned 4 different times in these, but I see this other phone number on this page. Which one's correct? Which one's right?" Google's most likely going to be taking the ones that are mentioned more frequently. And then if Google sees that your Google Plus page doesn't match up with it, Google may, and often does, will create a new listing, a whole nother listing with the updated information in it that you have no control over, that's getting no posts, it's getting no activity on it, yet your rankings will dilute because Google doesn't know which of these pages really to show up for whatever keyword term search for. So citations and that consistency when you're building citations or you're building directories is hugely important. So the best you can keep consistent with that, then you're not going to get any scrape data listings from Google. Or if you do, then it'll be easier to take care of. So any questions about that? All right. Local directories. Local directories, the word directory has been really demonized lately, especially when the last Penguin update came out last October. A lot of directory websites that exist out there got penalized real bad because they're just scummy little websites. They're link farm websites, and they're really low domain authority websites, and just things that Google just doesn't like to see. So when people say, "Oh, we should be putting into directories," you gotta have to get them back on track. So yeah, there are directories out there that are really scummy, but there's some that are really good. Everything that you see on here is a business local directory. In fact, these behind Google Plus, these next 5 here are probably the next 5 most important business directories you need to make sure your local clients are in, because they rank high and they're frequently used by people. So Bing Places for Business, Yahoo Local, Yelp, Manta, Insider Pages. All my clients that I get, those are the first 6. Google Plus and these here are the very first ones that I get them into. Every single one of these here are easy to put your client into. None of them require you to pay anything. And the hardest one to get set up is the Yelp, because the Yelp listing requires a phone call to happen to the business. The owner of the business needs to pick up the phone. So you have to kind of work with your client on that to get that set up. But Bing, Yahoo, Google, Manta, Insider Pages, you can do it at your desk and get them done in a half an hour. Yeah, go ahead.
Could you maybe tell us what this does for SEO standpoint?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly.
Incorporates a lot of this, spreading your consistent address, phone number.
Yeah. Exactly.
Across all the channels.
Yeah. Exactly. Now, I think what you're talking more along the lines is like an aggregator service, like Localese, and that syndicates that information out.
Maybe I'm talking about having an ad or having a listing. Verified listing at these locations. There was a conference call with Google. We talked about this. They were specifically saying more of that activity that's more consistent, of the same information across the board. Of you going out and setting up the Yelp profile or Yelp, not just the page, not the paid versions, the free versions. That impacts your ability to hit certain markets and keep it national.
Oh yeah, heck yeah, it does. So yeah, just like Zach was saying, these listings here, by using these and staying updated in with them, not just building it and letting it go, but staying updated in these, definitely help out with your rankings of Google Maps, because it all comes back down to NAT consistency, name, address, phone numbers. Every single one of these listings needs to have the same exact information that your Google Plus page does and your marked up data on your website. When Google sees that these listings are built up, they're current, and at least being used once in a while. And so it's hard to get into every single one of these every month, put a post, or every week put a post, and that's very time consuming. However, making sure that maybe once every month or 2 you sign into it and just make sure that everything's updated, show that maybe add an image or 2. Those are the kind of things exactly what Zach was saying Google's looking for to see how relevant should you be in here. It's really hard to get into Yahoo and post extra things. Yahoo wants you to pay extra money if you want to add even one more image than your business logo. Bing Places is the same way. However, you can go in there and add things once in a while into them that can help Google see those signals that you're using. So yeah, absolutely, you're saying that is correct. Fill them out as best you can. You are not required to use the paid services for any of these because all these services will let you build at least what they call a basic listing that has all the required information that you need. If you ever think that you want to pay for Yelp, they're evil. I wouldn't give them a dime of my money. But if you ever wanted to, then that it can help out a little bit. But you also get sucked into their AdWords and other little programs.
Yeah, I know that that's the
Yeah, you'll notice YP.com's not on here. No, they have a nice free listing, but if you pay for their services, you're in a world of hurt for local SEO. And especially if you just got to go read Mike Blumenthal's blog, and you'll see that the complete contempt he has for YP.com. So anyway, right there's 2 links at the bottom there. These are the 2 local listing services that I use. Basically, what they do is you put in the business information of your client, and these listings or these services will spit out a whole bunch of listings of where they're at, where they're being found, where their client's being found, where their data might be duplicate, where they're missing data, and stuff like that. And it can really help you get a good idea of where your client stands when they first hire you on. Also, Moz.com/local. That one's a very easy one to use, and if at all you're going to do, if you're just going to do the very least, and the most important business listings, Moz Local right there is a great place to go. It's very user friendly. It's free to use, and it can really help sort any kind of issues you might have with listings and directories that might be out there floating around with inaccurate information. Naptune's listing gives you a whole heck of a lot more listings that it goes over. I think Moz Local only gives you like 15 different listings. Naptune will give you like 30 or something. Some of them will be very industry specific, and some of them are going to be more nationalized. But both of those are great tools to use to help you map out what needs to be done when it comes to local listings. Every client that I take on, a local client, that's one of the first things I do. After Google Plus and all that's all set up, I'm going to run their business information through these and see where I need to start working on local citations. But if anything, get the Bing, get the Yahoo, get the Yelp, get the Manta, and get the insider pages taken care of right away. Those are easy to put together. They rank really well. In fact, the Pigeon update has given a lot more weight to the national brands like Yelp, Manta, insider page, and you'll see, especially when you're doing like real estate clients, you'll see like Zillow and a couple of those other Remax start showing up much more prominently than they used to before the algorithm update happened. So it's a great idea to get your business information into those as soon as you can. So you guys have any questions about local directories? Okay. Content's huge. Content. So blog. Blogging is the #1 way to start getting better rankings, better engagement, and start putting your business information out there. Blogs are easy to write in most cases. Just takes a little bit of research, a little bit of time, and you can get some pretty decent material out there. So blogging is the best way to add additional content to your website without having to alter like category pages and things like that. Blogging is great. Contextual linking inside that content. So contextual linking, you guys should know, is siloing. That's just basically saying if we've got blog posts that are talking about rifles, then I want it to link to my category page that deals with rifle training or something like that. So contextual interior website linking helps Google establish relevance much easier, much faster, and the right material will start showing up when people do keyword searches on that. So always make sure that you're doing good interior linking in your website. Infographics and memes. Infographics usually take a little bit more money, especially if they're much more complex. But if you got the budget to do it, they're definitely something worth considering. Infographics shouldn't be done just willy-nilly. They kind of need to have a purpose behind them, and that kind of deal. So infographics, if you got the budget, and you got the research time, they're good to go, and they can really help drive engaging and relevant traffic to your website. Memes, on the other hand, they're extremely easy to make. You can get on your iPhone or your Samsung and download a meme generator for free, and you can create most of these memes here. They're easy. They're really easy to create, and they do get a lot of shares. So memes take me about 2 or 3 minutes to make. Post them in about 5 minutes. You're done, and you can get something to share.
How well are you How often are you doing Adam doing for us?
Adam, when I was working with Adam, he was doing them, but like I say, I mean, if
I
something
think
pops in
as
your
you
head,
transition this room, we should, with Adam and the content team, we should be that all going
Mhm.
do that reasonably work well, but
yeah, and they get a little bit of share.
we've also picked off some clients with the fact that we're getting money about something, so just verify.
Yeah, the content's got to fit the client and the plan, you know.
Right. Yep. It does.
Yeah.
And so I would just converse with social people, come up with some good ideas, and let them take off with it and work on it, and then we can focus on communication. That's all I think.
That's cool. That's a great idea. Just make sure that what the content that you're creating for your client is relevant and appropriate for the client. Lawyers, doctors, you got to be very careful with them. There's specific things you can and can't say, and that's bitten us in the butt before. So just be careful on that. And whenever you're going to develop, especially graphical content, or if you're going to use memes, make sure that the client's on board at the same time. It'll save you heartache down the road. The best kind of content, however, is video. You're going to see it a lot. If you do they just had a Whiteboard Friday on Moz.com talking about video content. My local SEO communities that I follow are just buzzing with video content. I've got 2 different links here that show a video that I made for my business and a video that I made for Star Pest Control. And while I was making the slideshow, I had 2 slides that I wanted to put in here. I just totally forgot to, but I got them as images. I'll add later on. But when I was looking at my Google My Business Insights page, I noticed that the content that I placed, and I've only got 2 videos on my Google Plus page for Pop Academy. Those get the most traffic. They get the most click through. They get the most engagement. They get the most comments on them and stuff like that. When I give you this PowerPoint, you can click on those 2 links and just get an idea of what my landing pages and my videos are. They're very easy to make. If you've got even simple video editing software on your computer, just a real quick, like an opening page, and then put your video in there, and then bounce it up to YouTube. I get the most engagement with the videos, and so does James on his Star Pest Control. I should have cut those graphs up there, but video's not that hard to make. I know that here we've got some video tools that we can use and things like that, but the best content you can put into videos are client-produced content. Images, videos that they might send you, or if you happen to have a client in town or anything, then go get your iPhone, go down to their office and shoot just some quick little video and splice it together. I can put together a 3-minute video with the blog post and all that stuff in about 3 hours worth of time, and I mean, that's me doing it and doing my thing. But it's something definitely worth considering. If you can get your clients on board to provide you with material and stuff like that, that's going to be one of the biggest drivers of good engaging traffic to your website and into your brand. What was that?
I've had clients that come to me after we started working and say, "Oh, I haven't done one of these how-to videos."
Oh.
So ask your clients.
Yeah.
How many videos, how-tos?
Get access to their
for the
YouTube
office.
page. Yeah, get access to their YouTube channel.
Right, and those videos can be produced and transcribed onto the website, onto their content.
Here, let me show. I think I can show you one.
So
So transcribing the video from where it's on YouTube and just putting it as a blog?
Write it on your post, make a landing video on the site with the video embedded on it, and copy of the video, video is like website, and bring it for all the stuff.
Anyway, all right, so. Another thing about videos. Videos have more content in them than what first meets the eye. Transcripts, video transcripts. That is all of its original content. Anything that they talk about in the video, any dialogue, when you make a transcript out of it and put it on the website, it's all 100% original. You never have to worry about duplicate content when you do that, and it adds additional content to the website. YouTube, you can use YouTube's closed captioning service to kind of get a transcript started, but that just takes too stinking long for me. I just do the regular play for a few seconds, memorize what they said, pause it, type it out. Play for a few seconds, memorize it, pause it, type it out. Every video that I do for myself, I do transcripts of because it's good, it's great content. And what if you have someone who's hearing impaired? great that you have someone on your website who's watching you to know what crap you're talking about. So definitely take advantage of videos and transcripts for those videos. That adds 2 pieces of content, really good engaging content. So any questions about all that? All right, cool. What time do we have?
1 o'clock.
Is it 1 already? I'll speed this up then. All right, social media always works well for your marketing. Everybody knows that. But of course, when it comes to local SEO and social media, they go hand in hand. So Google Plus, always my first choice. That goes back to that page that slide I showed you where that Google Plus post ranks. Facebook posts don't rank. Twitter posts don't rank. Pinterest posts don't rank, of course, unless you signed into those services and show up, but Google Plus does. So that's always my first choice for social media engagement. Second and third, Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter. Just depends on what channel works well for your clients. If you've got a client that does a lot of baby stuff or baby supplies or maybe floral engagements or whatever, Pinterest might work better. Pinterest, the main demographic is white women 30 or 28 to 50 years old. If you've got stuff that fits that demographic, then you probably use Pinterest more than you would Twitter or Facebook. Facebook should always be part of it. That's the highest used or the most used social media platform. But always incorporate Google Plus. And you got a Google Plus page, and when you add content to it, it starts showing up better. About.me. It's not social media, but it's a great way to be found. About.me's got really good page authority, domain rank, and it's a good hub where you can put all of your social media links into that. My own personal About Me page does rank really well when you Google my name. So, of anything, the biggest thing is post often. Facebook pages, Google Plus pages, Twitter accounts. If people get on there and see you haven't posted for 2 or 3 months, probably not going to follow you. If they see that you're posting every other day or every hour, and it's good stuff, they're probably going to follow you. So post often. I can't stress that enough. Depending on what the client's budget is, it might be hard for you to do it every single day. Get your clients and coach them. Get them on the phone and coach them what they need to do and how to do it, and just drive in the importance and just the need for it and why it can work out. So anyway, if you ever wanted to, you can give the slideshow to some of your clients too after I email it, just to kind of give them an idea of what this type of stuff is. There's links in it that they can follow. So. All right, any questions about that? Okay, the thing about communities. Learn from Nate Marks. We all know what happened with Nate Marks. Always follow the rules of a community or group you're posting into, lest you be banned. If you're not following the rules they establish, you're going to get kicked out of that community quick. Getting kicked out of communities starts to look bad in Google's eyes. They start to look at you as a spammy profile or a spammy business listing, and you don't want to be viewed as that, especially in Google. Always share from and engage with influencers. The influencers are the easiest ones to find. They're the ones with the highest amount of followers. They're the ones getting mentioned all the time. They're the ones posting probably the most stuff in these communities. So it's give and take. Give out the love, and you can take the love too. So if you want people to share your stuff, make sure you're going out there and sharing their interesting stuff. Now, just don't do it willy-nilly. Just go out there. If it really interests you and it works out, share it. Comment on it. You're more likely going to get followers and plus ones and get your content shared back when people see that you're giving out the love too. Use the business page when promoting services, products, and official business communities. Use the personal page to share opinion. Don't let your business page become the target when you say something stupid. So that kind of gets into authorship and publisher. If you're acting as your business, you probably shouldn't be cussing people out as your business page, or you probably shouldn't be acting like a jackass, because then you're going to start getting bad reviews. You're going to start getting people who aren't following you anymore, and that hurts your business page. If you're gonna start doing opinion, if you guys look at my material, there's a distinct separation between what I post on my Google Plus business page versus my personal page. So don't use your business page to get into fights with people, because that will turn bad for you. So any questions about that? Okay. Reviews. Never ever pay for reviews. Don't bribe people for reviews. It's illegal. There is a United States code, and it's very illegal. It's false advertising.
And don't send your cop friends over there to threaten.
Yeah. Don't send your cop friends over to someone's house to threaten to take the review down. Business reviews are taken seriously. There are people getting prosecuted for paying for reviews. It's false advertising. You can get nailed on it. Go ahead.
So, like if the company, you buy something from the company, and then you get like with your product and get a pretty honest review.
Yeah, see,
Is that
yeah, because you're giving something away to get a review. I mean, even though it says honest review, you're still paying for a review in essence. You get something for free or get money off your service. Google is very, very explicit in their terms and conditions, or when you build a Google Plus page, in the reviews should 100% be non-biased. They should be from an honest person and should never be purchased. Meaning, don't set up a kiosk in your office saying, "Hey, come in here and give us a review in here, and we'll give you $5 off service," or "Here's a coupon for free stuff if you hit our website and give us a review somewhere." Stay away from that. Reviews are not the goal; they are the consequence of your services and products. You get good service and you're providing a good product to people, they're more likely to come and review you. 15%. It's like about 15% of all internet searchers and people who use the internet and buy products and services will go and leave a review. So it's when you have a client call you up and say, "Hey, we need to get like 6 reviews a month." Well, we're not the company for that. We don't do that. That's the first thing I'd say.
That's
reviews.
a great goal.
Yeah, that's a great. Yeah.
Customer service are you doing?
what are you doing?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Mike Blumenthal just wrote a blog post talking about where people go to give reviews. Yelp has been pumped out of the number 2 positions now to number 3. People go to Google Plus, and then people go to Facebook, number 2. So Facebook and Google Plus are the 2 review aggregators that are influencing the most sales, influencing the most people that engage with it. Now, when it comes to getting reviews, there's a lot of different options and strategies. There's nothing wrong with asking someone to give a review. Always ask them, hey, did my service do good? You can give them a handout. Here's my Facebook page. Here's my Facebook URL. Here's my Google Plus URL. Please go give me a review. Nothing wrong with doing that. Just don't promise anything. Don't pay for them or anything like that. Don't threaten them. Yeah,
We'll sabotage your heating system if you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's illegal. So that's it. I wrote a blog post last year that talks about. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. We'll unweld your doors. Last year in August, I wrote a blog post, a pretty extensive one on Google reviews and what is and what isn't. There's a link to it there. So just get on the netmark.com blog, do a little search for reviews. It's pretty extensive and has a bunch of links into it to other people to let you know. So if you ever have a client that just doesn't know how they work, what they are, why they need them, it's a good blog post to show them. So hey, read this blog post. It tells you all about reviews, how to get them, where to get them, and what not to do. So any questions about that? Okay, and so this will be the last of it. I believe this is my last one. Resources. There's 5 great resources in here for local SEO that you guys should be aware of. Mike Blumenthal is probably the #1 person that you guys need to follow. He's on Google+. He has his own blog. He's freaking fantastic when it comes to what's going on in Google Maps and in local search. He talks extensively about reviews. He talks extensively about Yelp and Google Plus and Maps and the updates and the Pigeon algorithm update and all the other stuff that you guys need to be aware of. So if anything, it's a great, it's just sign up for the blog and read it whenever it comes out. Send this link to your clients, any clients who have who do their own local marketing. Someone really good to answer some questions that you just might not have at the top of your head. Google Plus communities are a great place for local SEO. There's a community that I follow and I post to quite a bit, and I interact. In fact, half the people that I met on Google Plus that teach me about local SEO came from this community. It's called Local SEO News. There's a link to it right there. So just go use that, follow that community, or join that community with your Google Plus page, and just follow the updates. And it's really good information. Of course, I just wrote a blog post just like a week or 2 ago about local SEO basics, kind of like this class, really condensed though. That's if the client wants to know what they can do on their end to set stuff up or what's going on, shoot them that blog post. Moz.com, great for anything SEO. It's anything SEO. It's a great resource to go to, and they're really expanding their local SEO information in their knowledge base. So keep up with them. And then Linda Bouquet from Local Search Forum. She is another really influential person in local SEO. It might be worth checking her out and seeing some of the stuff that she posts. She's really on top of the algorithm updates that happen, and she's got really good information about that stuff. So if anything, these would be the 5 basic places that I would start. Mike Blumenthal, the local SEO news community, and of course Moz and Linda Bouquet. They're great resources, and it's just huge in local SEO. Okay, algorithm updates to be aware of. The 2 big ones that really do affect local search, of course, are the Pigeon update that just happened recently, and of course the Venice update that happened a few years ago. The Venice update changed the way the Google search look, and as far as what ranks where when it comes to local SEO. The local 7-pack got refined during that Venice update, and they did what's called the blended results. There's not a whole lot more of that going on, but it really put the difference between what a local result's going to give you when you type in the keyword versus what nationally should show up. So both those updates are worth looking into and doing a little bit of study on, so you can kind of answer questions about why things rank where they do in local search. So that's pretty much it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
The other day you were telling me about this update that was going to put paid, it'll put 3 paid results in the top of the 7-pack. What was that?
Oh, that was part of the Pigeon update.
Has that started?
Yeah, that's part of the Pigeon update, yeah. What's up, guys?
Yeah.
Sick, dude.
There's like 6 people.
So yeah, that was part of that right there.
Has it started?
Yeah, it has started.
So,
now, the testing's still being done where you get these different, you've been on like a mobile device and you see how the local results show up. It's kind of these little placards that show up. Google's starting to incorporate that in a few places. Have you ever heard of the local carousel? You know what the carousel is? Just Google it. Google the carousel. It's like a black bar that comes up in your search results and has a whole bunch of like little images and links to it. Just do a Google search for like hotels Las Vegas or casinos Las Vegas.
Oh yes.
Then you'll see the black carousel.
Yes.
That right there, Google doesn't really know, that I can tell, it doesn't really know what they really want to do with that yet. So they're kind of moving away from carousel. Huh?
Bing does that.
Yeah, Bing does too. So Google is moving to some different formats, but what we're seeing with this new update, the Pigeon update, we're seeing a lot more of really spammy looking Google Plus pages showing up that shouldn't be ranking right. And this just totally peeves Mike Blumenthal. And it's a good article to read. However, what you're talking about, the maps, the local paid listings up at the top there, I haven't seen that yet. They're testing it still.
Yeah, the only thing I saw was a test.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. And Google confirmed that was a testing. The guy got a hold of Google and they said, yeah, we're just testing in a few select markets. And it'll be pretty interesting to see how that mixes with pay-per-click.
The Dr. Pete is like one of the researchers from Moz, and he's pretty good on Twitter about publishing tests and stuff like that, finding stuff on the body because there's really pretty much the updating inhibitors. He's in a good follow-up or something.
So yeah, that's pretty much that. Yeah, that's just good stuff to know about. And yeah, I'll go ahead and email everybody this PowerPoint so that you guys can take a look at it. I will, absolutely. So if you take anything out of this, just follow some good people in local SEO. So you can just keep up with it.
Yeah, and you want to share those
Oh, heck yeah. Yeah, heck yeah.
Just like ping me like this, right? There's no one coming out and you guys have 2 minutes to watch it. They're good. I've seen you watch it.
Oh yeah, the Google Hangouts. There's a really good one. There's a Susan Finch. If you look her up on Google Plus, Susan Finch, her and another guy named Stephen. His last name was crazy. Anyway, Stephen Crazy. You'll know them when you see them. Anyway, they do a show called If I Had a Nickel, and that's the one that Jennifer and I got involved with a little bit ago, and they got some really good information in that. You know, how to set up really good analytics reports, how to make content engaging, and they just did one about copyright, what you should know, copyright law and stuff like that if you're using images. On a side note, when I write blog posts and I don't have images from a client, a really good place to go is Wikipedia, because they have what's called the free shares, the commons, the Wikimedia Commons. Anybody who posts an image on Wikipedia can only do it if they agree that they can share that image. So you have to attribute images or anything you do. Put a little link to who the original image is from. But all the images that you can find on Wikipedia, you can use on your own material. You just got to cite it correctly. They tell you how to do it on Wikipedia. So for that right there, it's a good source of images if you ever wanted to use stuff. Just make sure you cite it correctly and you're good.
Nice.
So, all right. So you guys got any other questions about that?
Awesome.
Cool, guys. Well, I'll share the link to the Hangout here with you guys, and I'll give you guys the PDF for this. And yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.